Welcome back to the shop. We're doing another one in our upholstery stuff. If you remember last year, I did some armrests for a Caterpillar. This is the seat bottom that we never got done last year. He's got the tractor tied up right now for a little while so I can get this done. We're going to get after it. I'm Mike. You're watching my car shop. So the seat spring on this is a little weak when you sit on it. It's pretty squishy, which you want because it's a tracked vehicle and it's going to do this kind of stuff. But I think it's a little on the weak side. So we've got a kind of a cool remedy that helps with that for weaker springs and kind of distributes the load a little better. But the first thing we need to do is get this old top off of here. We're not doing any sewing on this. This is just going to be a cheap and dirty. Get her done, maybe. Well, apparently. Ouch. No, that's what helps if you don't cut into the board. So my only goal here is just get that seat tore apart. Okay. Yeah, she's a doozy in there. You may ask why I'm not just pulling all the staples out. Because I found over the years, this is just faster. Okay, there's our foam, which is completely roached. Somebody had some pretty bad gas and burned a hole in the seat. Trick I learned a long time ago is to use a piece of carpet. This is an old carpet square, either on the top here to give that some firmness, or down in here to give that some firmness. The other thing that I had decided to do was potentially use this as well. I believe this was what I was intending to use for this. It depends on how squishy you want things to be. You know, you can do this. We got to remember not to make this too thick, so I'm glad I thought of this. This might make that a little bit too firm. I'm not sure. I think what I need to do, let's try this and sing some Tom Petty. How does it feel? Feels pretty nice. I like that. I don't think I want to go this way. Or was that Bob Dylan? How does it feel? I think that was Bob Dylan. Yeah, I don't like that as well. It's whoa! Just about got a show there. Yeah, I think that's going to work. The carpet gives it some stiffness. If I take that out of there, I'm almost positive that it's going to absolutely. It feels totally different. So I think the trick here is to put this carpet square here as a spring pad. That still gives me the spring, but what it does do is distribute the load over more of the springs. So one of the things I need to do is trim this down to the right size. So I'm going to get a tool and get that done. I'll be right back. Quick question for you. Do these 4 holes sit on pins? Is that what keeps that seat, or is that just clearance for bolts, or are they even necessary? Let me know. There we go. All done, right? So I got the new board cut, and I got everything pretty well lined up, I think. So the one thing I wanted to mention was what you don't want to do is scrimp on material. Make sure you've got plenty to work with. Um, it isn't that expensive in the big picture, and if you don't cut something right, I can see that I need to scoot this way a little bit. Actually, the whole thing needs to scoot this way just a little bit, and then this. But anyway, if you don't cut it right, you're really creating problems for yourself. It's better to have extra material, cut it off, than try to be cheap and scrimp and end up causing problems for yourself. Okay, I think that's pretty good because we still got to press this down. We got to pull it hard. You see what I'm saying? So, okay. So I think the way I want to start this, that's the excess there. So I think we'll start this way here. Okay, so we can pull this back that way some. Give ourselves plenty of breathing room. You got to remember, I got to stretch this material into place as well. Yeah, that seems short, but it's not. By the time I compress this down and pull it, I'm going to be way up in here. So I think that'll work. I'm not going to get too carried away with it yet. I want to get a feel for it. You'll notice that I'm stapling way back in. It's because if I staple out here and then I've got to let it relax for some reason, the holes would be out invisible, in a visible place, and I don't want that. So that's my rationale. And we're going to do tucked corners, which should look really good on this. Not going to be much pleating there at all if we cut this inside of here properly. Let's flip this over and see what we got. Pulled a little tight right there. We'll fix that. There's a material wrinkle right there. That's kind of what I'm going for. This is a little tight here. I wouldn't mind this being a little bit tighter, but it ain't bad. It's going to look pretty good. Obviously, we're not building a show car, but we want something to be pretty respectable here. And it's good practice. Yeah, which one pulled tight? I guess everything pulled a little tight because I pulled it right there. Let's what's that look like? It's still sucking down a little bit right there. There's bolts that go in here. on the tractor. I don't think that I'm going to cut these out. I'll just let that naturally do what it does there. We'll staple around here real good. Actually, we could cut that, but I don't see any reason to. I'll stretch it down in like this so that there's room for the bolt, and we'll staple it around real good, and we'll leave it like that. So anyway, yeah, lather, rinse, and repeat. But I need to look at this. Why is that? Yeah, for some reason, I must have just stretched it a little bit hard. Let's see if we can move that material. There we go. I think we'll be all right by the time we pull the corners where we want them. It's going to have a little bit of an indent there, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's got a little bit here too, so I think we're all right. Okay, it may just be the material because there was a fold right here. Okay, yeah, this material was folded for a long time, so I want to get a softer surface down here to work on just to protect this a little better. So I'll get some shop towels put down, and we'll get after it. There we go. So the staples that I have are only 1/4 inch. I ran out of my 5/16 one, so I need to make a road trip, but I got it temporarily stapled. There's a little cleanup to do. But it looks pretty good. It's not perfect. It's got some pleats in it here and there, but it feels comfortable. It looks fairly respectable. And for a bulldozer, I'm going to say that's probably very adequate. It's a little bit, because of the thickness, some of my corner tricks didn't work real well. And I need to stop mucking with it because these staples are so short. They're pulling out, and I'm causing more work for myself. So here we go. So yeah, I need to get the staples and then go back and staple the crap out of it in good ways closer to the edge. I may trim this back. I may not. Um, I did not cut out around here, but I left material. There's bolts in the frame that this sits in that these are designed to clear. I think this is going to be fine just like this. If it does wear, so what? Not going to hurt it any. It's on the bottom side, and I'll make sure that it's stapled around the edge real good, so we'll be fine there. So yeah, I think overall, she looks pretty good in her overalls. Got a little bit of patting around to do. The foam has got some lumps here and there and stuff like that, but for a bulldozer seat, that'll work. If I was doing this for a car, I would definitely have cut the panels on the side, sewed it, but for this, I just didn't see any point in doing that. So yeah, it looks good. Well, there you go. If you want to know all of the techniques for doing the corners, there's way too much material down here. I wasn't taking my time on this like I would on some other things. Um, just wanted to get her done. So I got to make a road trip, get those staples, get this finished up. But if you want to see these techniques, there's other videos on the channel that show how to do those pulled corners, all that stuff. This was just a slam bam, get it done. It's going to look fine. It's going to work. That's the main thing. It's functional. It's nice and firm. I really like the way it feels. So I think it's going to be a real good fit for him on that bulldozer. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to share, subscribe. Channel memberships for as little as $5 a month. You know the routine. We'll catch you on the next one, and don't forget.